something like the Big Bang Theory. All of you have heard about the Big Bang Theory. It's like, what an ugly name for a beautiful theory. The Big Bang Theory is when astronomers, learning about the way that light shows up in telescopes, were able to see that this amazing universe around us is equidistant from a center, and that the further out you go, the faster it goes. Faster than the speed of light. What does that mean? What does that mean about space and time? We could talk about that, because they're not really able to deal with that. Believe me, they're not. It's like, okay, didn't you reach the end of your rope? Haven't you now discovered something that you can't really swallow? And then they say that it all goes back to a tiny point, which wouldn't be as big as the point of a dot of my ink pen, and then it came from that. And of course, that had to be chaotic. Of course, that had to be random. No, that's not possible. Random is not possible. Nothing happens by chance. Not possible. Impossible. Yeah, like maybe you met your friend today in the mall and you didn't expect to do that. It was a chance from your standpoint, but Allah willed it to be. Okay, so we call this Big Bang, like big explosion. No, I'm sorry, that's creation from nothing. What you saw here by very careful study is that Allah created this amazing universe as all ancient Jews and ancient Christians and Muslims believed, from nothing. Not from matter. He created matter from nothing, energy from nothing. He created it from nothing. Okay, and why do you call it a Big Bang? Why don't you call it the first note of the cosmic symphony? That would be better. Okay, and if you don't let me name it that way, then would you please use another name yourself? Let's be honest. So we can call it expansion theory of the universe. We could call it point theory of the universe, and that would be scientific, because now we're just talking about what we know. So this is one of the greatest challenges that we face today, because we live in a civilization that is very ideological. It's very ideological. And it wants to put the stamp of its ideology on everything, on the words we use, on the concepts we have, on the values we have. And this is one of the greatest challenges that you and I face. Of course, we are concerned with our children. We're concerned with drugs. We're concerned with these other problems, and we can't take our eye off the ball. We have to take care of those problems. We have to learn how to live successfully in this time. But at the same time, we have a scholarly obligation, because scholars bear an obligation that is enough to break anybody's back. And many of you are scholars, and some of you are not scholars. That means that you don't carry the same burden on your back. It's good for your back. Okay? But those of us who have knowledge, and many of you have great knowledge, I know that. We have a huge burden on our back, because we need to begin to articulate, how do we think? What are the words we use? How do we think about the past? And there are many things in the past that you will never find in the history books at all. Even good history books.